Welcome back to another video everyone, my name is Elite and today we're going to be doing a dungeon guide, much like when I did the Sundered Doctrine guide, except I'm also going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on the dungeon after I explain how each encounter works. So the way it will go is encounter explanation of what you do, my thoughts will either be after that or during the traversal section, and I will also explain what the encounter challenges are because there are the feat system like from Desert. Also, please note that this is my team's first normal run. We sat at the first boss for about 10 hours. We weren't able to beat contest, but we'll be back for the contest raid next year. You can watch it all live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/InfernalXElite, and I will see you in the first encounter. So encounter 1 is called Board the Harvester. This is a ad clear encounter. It's not a boss fight per se. However, there are a few bosses. So start the encounter by interacting with the Harvester ship. This causes a lockdown to occur. You kill a few ads and then some new looking ads will spawn in. These big cabal dudes called Nameless Apprentices. Now, they have a special ability where if you're close to them for too long, they will kind of do an explosion that does a lot of damage, so you need to be careful. To lower these shields, you need to bait them into doing the attack, and then you need to activate these satellites. There are 3 of them, so you can do whichever one you want to do. It doesn't really matter because it's one big loop, but you need to do it next to it and activate it in a reasonable amount of time to lower the shield. Please note that these Nameless Apprentices can be pains in the ass to actually get to do the thing, because there'll be times where they just run away from you. Or like how that happened where it just doesn't do it for whatever reason. But once the shield is broken, you will be able to grab a Falcon, which is the new Sparrow type, and it's a Renegade ability. With the Falcon, what you do is there's basically a Sparrow racing track with these taken geyser looking things. Once you collect enough of these, you'll get a buff called Shadow's Novice or Shadow's Apprentice. This is the main mechanic of the dungeon, and this is something that will progressively change throughout the dungeon as you go through the 3 encounters. So you need to get used to this ability. The way the ability works is that you essentially have a force push or a taken phalanx push when you use your grenade ability. So this does replace your grenade ability, but by clicking in the right stick or whatever your finisher button is, you can change from shadow mode to normal mode and back, much like your Renegade abilities. Now, what you do with this ability is you will bait the Nameless Apprentice to do his explosion again, and then you will grenade at the Nameless Apprentice while they're blowing up to lower their shield. This also stuns them, so this is the stun mechanic for this and another boss. Once their shield is gone, you can kill them. This does 2 things. The first thing, as you will see right now, is it will spawn a taken geyser. That can be used to reset your buff's timer. You have a 40-second timer before the buff runs out. When it runs out, you just lose the buff. You don't die, thankfully, but you will lose and have to get it again. As you can see here, that's the force push done by my assistant squid. Now, when you kill one of these Nameless Apprentices, two things happen. Firstly, for every of the original Nameless Apprentice that you kill, so one of the 3, it spawns another Nameless Apprentice, so you'll have a total of 6 killed by the end of the encounter, but they also spawn the behemoths. Now, when I said the bosses of this encounter are kind of bosses, these are the bosses, the behemoths. You need to kill all of them. I believe it is 6 or 9 behemoths total, and when you kill all of them, the encounter ends. That is quite literally the entire encounter. It's not very complicated, it is quite simple. It's just a matter of controlling the ads. The encounter triumph, if you're going for the feat, is to kill all of the Nameless Apprentices with the Falcon attacks. So you have to be on the bikes. You can only kill the Nameless Apprentices with the bikes. If you don't, it fails. Now, as for my thoughts, I don't mind this encounter. I think it is a alright encounter. It's definitely not the most interesting thing. I have been trying to solo it, and it is a little bit more hectic in a solo environment. But on normal mode with a fire team, this is kind of a cakewalk of an encounter. It doesn't take too long to do the actual encounter, which is always nice. But I would have liked a little bit more interaction overall, in my opinion. Apart from that, great first encounter. Moving on to the traversal and the second encounter. Encounter 2 is Defeat Harrow, the Dredgen Apprentice. Now, I will say before we start, this is where we got stuck on contest because this guy is a asshole, but he has a really fucking cool intro scene that you can watch here. What you're going to want to do is, first things first, avoid his attacks. Second thing I want to mention is the Taken Shadow Power now has a second level. So the first level has the stun ability where it can push things back. The second level can now activate these gates slash keys plate things on the wall. I don't really know what you call them. It can activate those. So step 1 is avoid him. Step 2 is get through one of these doors to the outside areas. This is where your main mechanics are going to be, where you have to interact with the buttons. Also in this area are these scions. These scions now drop the Taken Blight energy that you need to gather your shadow abilities, as well as the Centurion enemies also drop shadow abilities. There are 3 rooms. There's left, middle, right. These are the 3 rooms where you have to hit 3 locks. You can see I'm in the middle room right now. You need Shadow's Apprentice to activate the locks. If you do not have Apprentice, you cannot do anything with the locks. So you'll see me punch towards them. This triggers them. So you do this in all 3 rooms. You can tell by those green lights whether you've done one or not. And then you move on to the next room. Something to keep in mind and note while you're traversing the rooms, and I mean specifically in the rooms, if you are in there for too long, Harrow will actually come after you. He is invisible. There'll be a buff underneath your Shadow Apprentice called Harrow's Decree. That means he's in the room with you. He will appear and he will start doing one of the Nameless Apprentice blasts, but this does a lot more damage. So you can either run away from him or you can stun him. So once you do all 3, you come back to the middle. There are a few choices of how to deal with this. This part is taking down his shield. So first steps first, you can activate these generators, which I just did by hitting the 3 things. The other one is these pits. Now, you can bait Harrow into the pits. He will pretty much just jump in the hole. When he jumps in the hole, he loses a chunk of his shield. You can increase this amount by hitting him with the Shadow Blast. We didn't know this while we were doing it, so we didn't do it. The other thing I want to note that we didn't know at the time was that if you activate multiple of the pylons and you get him to hit them during damage phase, it can extend the damage phase. I don't know how much it extends the damage phase, but it does extend it a bit. Now, for your solo, because I have been doing this in solo, if you get rid of all 3 of your generators, it just becomes you have to put him in the hole multiple times and go around this outside more. So keep note for that. He has a lot of health, which is very annoying. As for the challenge of this encounter, it is to stun him using Shadow's Novice every single time. So every time he does the Nameless Apprentice attack with the big void push back with big damage, you have to stun him every single time. If you miss one, it is a reset. As you can see here, that's what the attack looks like. As for my thoughts on this encounter, I really like this encounter. I like the boss design. I've always wanted a raid encounter that is just a big gladiator that comes after you. And I feel like this is the closest that we will ever get to just having a gladiator fight with a boss with a lot of health that we just punch into. I wish that there was a little bit more going on, like teamwork based, but I understand that these have to be designed to be soloable. I do think Harrow is a bit bullshit on how big his health bar is, especially in contest and in solo. But that is just kind of the thing that is part of dungeons. It is something that we'll all have to deal with, and it is basically just a get good moment. Also, I forgot to mention his final stand. He just breaks through the door and you chase him. It's not super complicated, you do the same thing in a smaller arena. But with that out of the way, you can watch the rest of the fight if you need more visual guidance. And I will see you at Encounter 3. So you made it to encounter 3, Dredgen Seer. This is going to be a massive pain in the ass if you hate arc fights. So there are 2 big things. One, you'll be plane shifting, so you'll be moving between normal world and the ascendant plane a lot. Second thing, there is now a 3rd level to your shadow power. It is called Shadow Master. This does something that only happens in this encounter. You'll be taking the Nameless Apprentice mechanics from the first 2 encounters and putting them here. So you'll notice at the top of the screen there is both the shadow meter and then there is also the other meter. That other meter is a timer for how long until you are taken into the ascendant plane and out of the ascendant plane. There's also little messages like Seer is talking to you that appear that indicate certain things. One of them is that he starts doing tickle fingers towards you and it is very hurtful. The way you deal with this is you shoot his hands. His hands are a weak point if he starts blasting you. The blasting effect or the tickle fingers effect can go through shields. Or not shields, through something like strongholds. The other major thing that you probably noticed is that there was that big plinth in the middle of the room with 5 balls on it. Those balls are unique to the realm and they do different things depending on which realm you're in, so I'll explain those now. In the normal room, the balls indicate how many of the Nameless Apprentices you have killed. When you kill a Nameless Apprentice, the ball becomes vulnerable and you can destroy it. If you destroy all 5 balls in one of the realms, it locks you out of the other realm. So if you destroy all the balls in the normal realm, it locks you out of the normal realm until you finish the Ascendant realm. So, as I said, in the normal realm, you defeat the Nameless Apprentices and the balls become vulnerable. So as you can see there, those are his Tickle Fingers attacks. You have to shoot his hands. Apologies, I didn't mean to cough. Now, there are a lot of ads in this room, so be very careful, take your time, kill things. It is very difficult. In the Ascendant plane, you have a slightly different goal. As you saw before and you are about to see, there are these shadow dudes of Seer. What you can do with those, you have 2 choices. The first choice is you can just straight up kill them. And this is what my team did because we didn't realize there was a second option. The second option is tied to your Shadow Master ability. So, as you can probably see, there are 2 boxes on the above on the top of the screen. What you can do with Shadow Master is you can walk up to one of the shadow bodies and you can interact with it by holding your interact button to compel them. What this does is it adds timer or more time to your damage cycle. So basically, if you want more time to damage Dredgen Seer, you can compel all of them and you get an extra 10 seconds, I think it is. It's completely up to you and optional if you want to do that or not. Now, during damage phase, what ends up happening is he just starts blasting the entire realm or the normal world with arc from the ceiling. You can actually disable this after the fight because after damage phase ends, most of the field is going to be covered in arc lightning and it is going to hurt like hell. What you can do is there are switches around the arena that will deactivate that. Other than that, there's not really much else to the fight. Just kill him. Be aware of the tickle fingers as I am not being in this encounter or in this video because I didn't know what it was at the time. Now for the challenge. The challenge for this encounter is to destroy a ball within 10 seconds of teleporting into that realm. What that means is if you get teleported out of the Ascendant plane, you have to destroy a ball within 10 seconds of entering the normal realm. The best way to do this is to leave a ball vulnerable when you get teleported into the Ascendant plane. So that way when you come out of it, you can destroy one. Same goes for in the Ascendant plane. When you get teleported in, there's a shadow dude right in front of you. You're going to have to kill him for this challenge. and just destroy the ball instantly. Then go around and plan to destroy more balls, and that's about it. As for my thoughts on this fight, I think this is another really cool fight, really unlike anything else we've had in Destiny up to this point. However, I wish that there was a little bit more direction on how things happen, as well as there were more ways to combat Dredge and Seer, because let me tell you, that arc attack wrecks house. If you are caught unaware, it is very, very deadly, and basically there's no way of recovering if you are on low health. I kind of feel like it should just slow you, and it shouldn't outright kill you that quickly without a shield. But I'm also a little bitch who just wants to bitch about everything. So take my word for it if you want, but your opinions are the ones that matter here. Anyway, that's it for the video. If you liked the guide, my thoughts and my opinions, do leave a comment below of what you thought. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video, short guide, whatever comes up next. I'll see you there. Peace.
you.